Hi, and welcome to the Lionsgate Akashic journey. So, I wanted to create this kind of space of exploring this Lionsgate portal and kind of go over what it means, the significance of it, and the energy behind it before we get into our journey space. So, I'm gonna let a few more people in. The energy of the Lionsgate, we have this portal every year, so it's nothing special for this year. But what we do experience is a special connection each year for kind of the flavor of the energy that is coming through at this time. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. The Lionsgate portal, most of the time, what you hear associated with it is manifestation work. And that absolutely can be a significant part of this. But what I also want to explore is some of the other energies behind this or around surrounding this that are super important to be tuning into as well. So, I'm going to take a moment to share my screen and we can look at the slides that I prepared for this. There we go. All right, so we have the Lionsgate portal today. Now, this portal space, this gateway, is actually much longer than just a day. So, this is considered the highest point or the peak energy access for this portal energy. And the reason for this is today is the zenith of when Sirius, which is the star that is associated with this Lion's Gate, is in alignment with the sun and with Orion in a way that it is um, also aligned with the Pyramid of Giza. So there's this significant alignment that happens during this time, and this just happens to be the date of the zenith of that. So, the significance of the Lion's Gate is the association of the Sirius star. So if you're not familiar with the star Sirius, it is the brightest star in the sky. It is named Sirius to reflect its bluish color. So it is seen as a blue sun energy. It's also known as the cosmic sun. So it is like the sun of our cosmos, of our star system, because it is so bright and such a significant energy in our sky that we get to see and experience. Um, this Lion's Gate, like I was saying, is in alignment with Orion. So Orion is a constellation, in case you're not familiar. Because this is an astrology thing, I just want to kind of tie in a little bit more information. So Orion is a constellation that we often see. If you ever hear of the reference of Orion's belt, it is this connection of stars in the sky that form the belt of Orion, and Orion is seen standing, holding, and preparing to shoot the dragon in the sky. So when Sirius comes into this space of alignment, we see that it is connected into Orion's belt, and it creates this kind of direct line of when we see where our sun is located, where the Sirius star is located, and where Orion is located. And from the pyramids of Giza, this creates a direct line. And the significance of that comes from the connections with Sirius to Egyptian connections, Egyptian lineages, and ancient civilizations there too. So we look at Sirius, which is also known as the dog star, and one of the Egyptian gods, specifically Anubis, is really looked at being connected to this star as well. So that's just some background information. This energetically is like an initiation period. So during this time frame of the Lionsgate portal, we tend to feel that anticipation energy. Like we feel as though something is coming, but we don't quite know what it is. And sometimes it can be very uncomfortable. So if we're stuck in this transitionary state, it can feel like stuck, stagnant energy. There can be a lot of frustration. There can be a lot of just kind of uh, this discordant energy that's just floating around and maybe not as easeful as we like it to be. It can also help with accelerated growth and transformation. So one of the positive aspects of this time frame that we get to experience every year is we know that this accelerated growth and transformation is going to be happening at this time. So we can plan ahead for that, and we can use it to our advantage to recognize that this is a great time for really diving into deep work with self growth and what we need to do. This is also a heightened time for light code activations because we are working with a star system, we are working with starseed energy, we are working with light ray frequencies. It is a time of light code activations, meaning that's part of the accelerated growth. So if you're not familiar with light codes and how to work with that energy, light codes can come in a variety of forms. So it can be a color frequency, it can be a symbol, it can even be words that when you hear them, create and elicit a response in you that creates a change in you. So sometimes we experience this happening and we don't really know that it's actually, this is what they consider to be a light code activation. So if you've ever experienced, perhaps going through something and someone uses a word to describe it and all of a sudden it just like lights up something in you and it creates this feeling of acceptance and like, yes, that's it. And like all of a sudden you get this inner release of just that acceptance happening from that. That is a light code activation. You now learned the energy behind that frequency, and now it's more easily able to flow through you. So you can call on that feeling, that energy, that way of being, that understanding, that acceptance from a different perspective. So we experience a lot more of that during this portal. So if you're not as sensitive as some people are, you might notice that you are during this time. And the other thing about the Lion's Gate, and one of the reasons why it gets its name, the Lion's Gate, is because it always happens in Leo season. And this is because this is the season of the sun. So the Leo ruling planet or luminary is the sun. And we are in the season of Leo. So every year for this portal in August on 8/8, it will always fall in the season of Leo. So we do have this influence of the sun more, just more intense at this time. And when we think of the energy behind Leo energy, it's this energy of confidence and self-acceptance and an intensity of just allowing yourself to shine as who you are. And really that's the significance, I think, really doubled down this year for our Lionsgate portal, and that is due to the numerology of it. So we're going to get into that next. So the numerology of the Lionsgate, I want to talk about the numerology for this year first because that's the significance of this. So when we're looking at the year 2022, we're really focused on that repeating 2 number, right? So 22 in and of itself is considered a master number, and it's the number of master builder. So the master builder is that energy of recognizing the things that aren't working and the things that are working and wanting to find that space of harmony and easeful flow and effortlessness and just a better all the way round way of doing things, right? We want things to be stable and secure and have a good foundation and be in alignment. It's this year of really finding that stability and finding a more aligned way of doing things in our lives. So, what we can experience specifically to be highlighted for us for this Lionsgate portal is really re examining your life and your choices, your behaviors, the patterns that you kind of follow, whether they're good or bad, right? These types of things will come up and be mirrored to you, especially during this portal, to help you be able to recognize those patterns so that you can start creating the changes that you want. So it helps you to recognize those things that aren't working for you, or those behavior patterns that really aren't in your best interest, or that keep you stuck in the same looped cycle of what is happening in your life. So this is an opportunity to really be able to tune into this energy of growth, accelerated growth, by recognizing these types of energies. You also will be more likely to desire a change for the better at this time. So, for those that tend to feel a little bit stuck in their ways of doing things, or even creating excuses for the reason why they do the things they do, this is a time where you really begin to desire to change, even those things that you thought about yourself you would never change or never let go of, or were just such an ingrained part of you. You now might be looking at it and being like, but do I really want to be this way? Do I really want to hold on to this? Is this really my truth? Like, really? Or is this a learned behavior? Is this a conditioned behavior? And so this desire to change for the better will be coming forward. So those little things that are coming up like that are super important to listen to. And you'll be seeking more aligned action. So the energy surrounding now is really about tuning into the highest version of you, to that soul self, to that sacred soul, and really allowing yourself to drop into that energy and recognize what is meant for you and what isn't meant for you. Which also means we're in a time of when letting go of what's not meant for you is done with so much more ease. And I don't know about you, but that is super helpful, because sometimes we cling and attach ourselves to our ways of doing things, or to a feeling, or to an idea, or to a belief. And anytime we do that, it makes it so much harder to let go of things, because we think that it's helpful or it's beneficial. So I tend to be really transparent in what I do, and how I am. And for me, this has been really reflective on the busyness. The busyness that I create, because I feel like I need to constantly be doing something in order to be successful. And that's not truly the case. I don't have to constantly be busy doing something. Most of the time, that busyness is just something to make me feel as if I'm doing something. And it's not really serving my business or my community in a way that's helpful. And so by being able to prioritize more, it's helped me to be able to do things like this that I've wanted to do, but I didn't have the time because I keep myself so busy with other things that really aren't of any significance. So that is something I've personally been working on. Uh, so being able to let go of the stories surrounding that idea of busyness means success, that you have to work hard, that it has to be difficult, that it has to take up all of your time, like all of those stories that have been ingrained and conditioned from societal beliefs, from things that I've heard growing up. It's a lot of unraveling that, and it's been quite interesting. And I'm super thankful to unravel that, because I'm tired of that. So I definitely am feeling into that desire to change for the better. Also, at this time, you might be experiencing a heightened sensitivity to energy. So this is going back to when I was talking about the light code activations. If you're someone that's not really familiar with that, or you think like, oh, I don't really tune into that, I don't have the availability to tune into that, this might be a time where it's easier for you to tune into that. So you might experience more of that, and that can look different for anyone. So for me, when I'm receiving downloads, especially for light codes, I see a lot of colors, a lot of symbols, words, all of that comes through. I've drawn light code symbols that have meanings. I've channeled different energy color frequencies and how they can be used for healing, different words that are associated with different things for my own personal healing. Like, there's so many things that can come through with that type of heightened sensitivity to the energy, that even if you're not someone that typically does that, now is a time that you might experience that more. And that can also mean more vivid dreams and being communicated with through dream time too. So that can happen, especially if you have a hard time in your waking time during the day being able to connect. Sometimes it comes through in dreams as well. And an increased psychic awareness through the third eye. So what that means is the availability of the third eye space of being more open to seeing, to experiencing the visual aspect of connecting to the energy. So getting colors and symbols, or seeing words in your mind's eye, or knowing things, not really knowing how you know, but you just kind of know. And just overall being more sensitive to the energy. And for someone like me, like, I love that, but I also understand that there are people that experience this and they feel as though it's a little scary, a little nerve-wracking, and that's understandable too. If you're not familiar with working with energy, it can be quite overwhelming. So I think it's important to kind of remember that we're all on different areas of this path. So if it is too much for you, this is where grounding practices are super important during times like this, when the portal of energy is really, really strong. You want to be actively seeking ways to ground and be able to transmute and transfer that energy down into the earth, so that it's not being all stored in you. Because when we are just taking energy in and taking energy in and taking energy in, we build up so much energy, it can create more anxiety. It can create more jitteriness. It can create more racing thoughts. It can make it really difficult to concentrate or to find clarity if you're not used to all of that excess energy. So when we tune in and we connect and we ground, we open that channel for it to flow more freely, so that we're not just storing it all in us and waiting to explode. So that's an important part of this practice too, and we will be walking through that when we connect to the Akashic realm for our journey. So you'll experience what I mean and experience a way of grounding and connecting to be able to tune into that energy if you need to focus more on that for you. You know what I didn't put in here is the eights. So I want to talk about that eight energy. So 8-8, we're in the month of August. It's an eighth month, and it's always the eighth day. So that eight energy is, eight creates that infinity loop. So we're looking at that energy of infinite possibility and potential. And this is where that energy of manifestation comes through. So when you see all the things going on around this Lionsgate portal and everyone talking about manifestation, it's they're really honing in on that 8-8 energy and that connection to manifesting because of that energy of infinite potential and possibility. So it's opening up this gateway of allowing you to really tap into that. So what is it that you want to create? What do you desire? What is it that you want to bring forth? Because now is a great time to really tune in to that wide open possibility and potential that awaits for you. And this being a master builder year, this is all about doing that in a way that is so deeply aligned with you. And there's so much beauty around that. Right? It's easy to say or to fall into that trap of, what we want to manifest being something that is kind of expected for us, like, oh, I want a new boat, or I want a new car, or, I want X amount of dollars, or, these materialistic kind of things, which there's nothing wrong with material things. So I also want to start like let's stop with that. There's nothing wrong with material things. What makes it wrong is the things that we attach to it. So, and I don't even like using the word wrong. Like, energy, when you get this far into energy, words really start becoming a problem because we don't have the proper vocabulary to be able to really allow ourselves to verbalize the correct thing around it. So, this energy of what you desire being more deeply aligned to your soul path, it creates more ease and more flow and more opportunities and more things that are coming to you that feel good, right? There's no resistance there. There's nothing that you have to work around with it. It's just this energy of feeling like you are on your path. And it creates such an energy of peace and of knowingness and of acceptance and understanding. And there's so much love when you are really operating from a space of alignment, and when you start letting go of that need to force things. So there's a lot to this energy specific for this year because of it being this master builder energy of wanting what's best, of wanting the restructure, of wanting a different way of doing things. So really feeling into that aspect when it comes to the manifestation and abundance aspect to this work for this year, because we can get tripped up very easily about making manifestation and abundance work all about material things when that's not necessarily the core energy of it. The core energy of it is that soul alignment, that soul path, that soul purpose, that soul mission that we're here to hold and carry, because once we're really embodying that, everything else flows with ease, and it's trusting in that energy. Let's see. So I want to talk a little bit about the Akashic realm before we go there too, because this might be something new for some of you. So the Akashic realm is the highest frequency of energy that's available to us. So when we access that space, we are opening up to that energy frequency that is the highest frequency that we can tap into or tune into and be able to channel. So the part of this accessing it allows our vibrational frequency to come into a more resonant state with that frequency. So it helps to elevate your energy field, which begins to create changes for you. So just by connecting into this energetic frequency, it starts to make changes for you. And that really is really powerful. Tuning into this field, I mean, it's absolutely life-changing. I can't even put into words just the depth of doing this type of energy work and how powerful it is to help create changes in your life. It has been absolutely phenomenal, and I have been on this journey much deeper with the Akashic realm for, I'd say, probably the last 2 or 3 years more intensely, and it has been absolutely amazing. So I definitely am all about doing this work and having this as part of what I do. So the Akashic realm is also part of the celestial realm. It's another name for it. It's also called the quantum field. It's also referred to as the ethers. There's lots of different names for this Akashic realm. So when you're tuning into the celestial realm and working with like ascended masters in the celestial realm, right? Or angels, the archangels, they're all in the celestial realm. So this is all part of the Akashic realm as well. The quantum field. So, here's where we really start to see, I think, the flavor that happens with the words that we use. So, celestial realm feels very otherworldly. Quantum field, I feel like a guy came up with that name. Do you know what I mean? Like, the quantum field feels more masculine to me, and it feels more about tangible things than, that wide open, dreamy, celestial space, So those are just like the ways that I perceive those words, but I feel like the recognition of that is so important at this time, because this is what I'm talking about when we are talking about being aware of light codes too, because it can be as simple as a term that you use to connect with something that creates a different energetic frequency for yourself. So, quantum field is the same thing as the Akashic realm as well. The ethers. So, when we talk about the ethers are this space of infinite potential and possibility, because it's just this wide open quantum field. It's the celestial realm, it's the Akashic realm, right? So, they're all one and the same, but they feel different when you say them, right? It has a slightly different energetic tone to it. So, I'm still personally playing with that because I find it interesting. We know it all is connecting to the same space, so it's just neat to be able to recognize the weight that words have. And I think sometimes in our fast paced society, we forget about the weight of our words and just how the words that we choose to use create an energetic resonance or sometimes an energetic dissonance, right? So I think it's important to just kind of reflect on that for a moment. So when we tune into the Akashic realm, we are tuning into the highest timeline that's available to us because it is the highest frequency that we can plug into, right? So if we have the belief that we're souls in this human body and our soul has a specific mission or purpose or energetic imprint that we're bringing here to the earth for a reason, right? But we get sidetracked on this earthly life because we're pulled in 1,000 directions and we're dealing with human emotions and feelings, and there's so much tied into that. Then when we tune into the Akashic realm, we are tuning into that highest timeline of our soul self that we can access at this moment, right? So it might not be the highest version of you, but it's the highest version of you that is able to connect with you here in this moment. And the power of that is that awakening process that happens within you. So that is where sometimes for me, visually, what I see, what I experience when I'm working with other people or when I experience this with myself, is it looks like golden threads being lit up within the body that are being activated. And it's being activated to this higher frequency where it initiates an inner knowing, an inner awareness. And it's this energy that really is what starts to initiate the changes that start to happen. And it's absolutely fascinating. I love doing this work and I love being able to see the energy and how it's working. That has been really, really neat. And I'm so thankful that I am able to have those moments of being able to see this. It definitely helps with my understanding of how it works. So I'm super thankful for that. So in connection to this space, we get to connect and hold that frequency for ourselves. And it creates this space of being able to tune more into the energy that we need for our own growth and our own potential. So when we talk about the Akashic realm and we talk about the energy of being able to tune into this space, we are also recognizing that we have the capacity to tune into that energy of infinite potential and possibility, and there is tremendous power in that. And in recognizing that tremendous power, we must also face the fact that we are powerful individuals and we have the capability to be able to tune into this energy and to access and be in charge of our own power. And that can be quite scary for some because we're taught that power is usually associated with something bad, and we forget that power is also associated with good. And I know far more people that holding an energy of power in any way, shape, or form, they would absolutely do so much more good in the world. And if they had more access to powerful energy that allowed them to manifest more money in their lives, that they wouldn't automatically turn into bad people. They would be using that to do so much more good in their lives. And we look at this and we see this with charities, with fundraisers, with the people that are always trying to do more for their community. And sometimes we have to pause and stop looking at all of the scary stuff that's going on in the world, or the ways in which we're being shown that power is bad, or things of that nature. And we need to draw it back, and we need to start recognizing the ways that we can witness and experience the ways that power is used for good, because that's so much more important to focus on, especially during this time and this transition for our planet. So, recognizing the highest possible timeline for self, recognizing that it is important for you to step into your own power. This is part of that Leo energy, and that Leo energy is that fiery Leo energy of confidence and leadership and charisma and just wanting everything to be amazing. And there's nothing bad with that. So I want to talk a little bit about the manifestation hype, and I kind of already got into this a little bit. So a lot of people tend to focus on that manifestation and really into the abundant stuff, because that's been such a hot keyword in the spiritual realm, in this new age movement, people throwing out abundance left and right. I do want to just kind of plant the seed of being careful with using the term abundance, because abundance is not actually defining anything, it's more descriptive. So if we are just using the term abundance without defining it, we are leaving abundance to be wide open, and it gets interpreted through the lens of our vibrational frequency. So if you're still having fears and doubts that surround the energy of abundance, like a lack mindset, or a fear of failure, right? Then that's going to be what comes through in abundance. So this is why you have to be careful, and you have to really hone in and define what abundance means to you. I want an abundance of love energy. I want an abundance of that divine love energy to flow around me and through me and help me to feel connected and grow my own self-love journey, right? That would be defining abundance. So it's super important. I just want to throw that in there because I don't think that that is really brought up enough. And take it from someone that's learned the hard way. Don't just leave abundance wide open, because energy is intelligent, but energy cannot automatically create itself. It needs that intention, it needs that catalyst to direct it. And so if you're not defining and giving that intention for direction, it's going to be what you're holding in your energy. And even the best of us still have and still work through self-doubt. And oftentimes when we're turning to manifestation, it's from a place of, we don't want this, we want this. And so if we're not defining the this that we want, it falls back to the thing that we don't want, and we end up with that in abundance. So just pay close attention to that. All right, so the truth and the hype, the Sirian energy. So I want to talk a little bit about Sirian energy just real quick for those that might be new to starseeds. So Sirius is the energy associated with the Sirian people, the Sirian star race. So Sirians are the earth keepers. They are connected to animals. They are animal lovers. They are environmentalists. Like, they are all about, doing what's right for the planet and wanting to help humanity from a place of planetary love and coexistence with nature and all her creatures. And that's one of the endearing aspects of Sirian Starseed energy. They also tend to be very loyal. They are more the doers, so they are the activists. They are the ones that are campaigning. They are the ones that are out there protesting, right? So that is more of the Sirian energy. Sirian energy is also connected to the blue ray frequency, but I also want to side note here, the blue ray star seeds, the blue ray frequency, you can be blue ray and not be Sirian. Um, but if you're Sirian, you're connected to blue ray. Does that make sense? So if you are Sirian, that is the blue sun, you are deeply connected to that blue ray energy, so you are connected to that blue ray frequency. But there are those that are blue ray star seeds that are connected to that blue ray frequency that are from another star system. So I just wanted to shine a little bit of extra light on that for those that might be a little bit further along on this path, and maybe this is brand new for you, so now you have lots of rabbit holes to go down. So the blue ray frequency, my experience and what I have learned from this, deeply connects to the Divine Mother energy. So it's all about this deep peace and compassion and an energy of contentment that makes it feel more of like that I am presence, but in a way that's really deeply compassionate and loving. So it does really embody that divine feminine energy, that divine mother energy. Whereas the Sirian starseed energy is more of the divine masculine energy overall. They are more actionary, more of the doers, so it has more of that masculine energy. So when we talk about masculine, feminine as far as energy goes, it's also in recognition that we hold both. We always hold both frequencies. It has nothing to do with gender. It has to do with the energy behind it. So if you're not familiar with that, there's much more you can deep dive with understanding masculine and feminine energy, but they're just aspects that I wanted to share. The Egyptian energy, so Sirian is connected to Egypt. Again, it's connected to the Great Pyramid of Giza, and it is really looked at to be associated with lineages in Egypt. So if you are a Sirian starseed, a lot of times you will have had past life experiences in Egypt as well as Atlantis. They just tend to kind of be a common thread that we see with Sirian starseeds. So that's part of the energetic frequency of this as well. When we get into the manifestation aspect of this and connecting into the cosmic energy, that energy of Sirian energy is that energy of wanting to actually take action to make things flourish, right? I say make things, that's kind of harsh because we don't want to force it, but we are in that space of aligned action. So that's different from forcing. So let me just separate that for a little bit. So when we take aligned action, we are working towards helping our manifestation come to fruition. And those aligned action steps are those guidance steps, that intuitive knowing that kind of comes through, that we feel like, yes, this is moving me in the right direction, and we keep going forward. You can't manifest and just simply be all about manifesting, meanwhile, you're like not doing anything to help with the process. Manifestation doesn't work that way. Energy likes to be in motion. Energy likes to keep flowing. Energy likes attention. Energy likes the focus. So you've got to help fuel that with aligned action. The blue ray frequency in the manifestation energy is the energy that helps with that knowing. It helps with that more feminine aspect of the inner knowing, of the guidance, of feeling that good feeling on the path that you're on, that you're like, yes, this is it. Um, and so it helps in that way. The Egyptian aspect of the manifestation energy helps with recognizing your own inner royalty. And this is also reflective of the Leo energy. So Leo really exudes that kind of royal energy where, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you know some Leos that like to rock a crown because they hold that frequency very well. And this is the type of energy that comes in with that. So it's about having that inner confidence of knowing that you are enough and you are deserving of all of the things that you are wishing to manifest. So that's kind of the energy that is wrapped around the manifestation hype that we usually see around the Lionsgate portal. So I wanted to share a bit of that because that is like probably the most trendiest aspect of this out there. But this gateway is so much more than just manifestation work, wanting things to materialize that you desire, as far as, you know, money and wealth and that sort of thing. But it's about that alignment with you, that inner alignment that comes through at this time. And that's really the greatest thing that you can manifest, is your own inner alignment, because everything else literally falls into place. And it's a beautiful state to be in. So that's kind of bringing us full circle around this energy. If anyone has any questions, pop them in the chat box and I can answer them. And I'll answer them after we wrap up from the journey. So now I want to get going with our journey. So just to start, just think for a moment. Ask yourself before we get started, what if I get to have it all? What if I'm enough just as I am? Those are powerful what if questions, right? But if we tune into that energy, that frequency, allowing ourselves to own that energy, it is such a beautiful place to recognize that you are enough. You are enough, that you are worthy. And that's the energy we really want to foster and bring into this journey with us. So for this journey, we'll be connecting to that cosmic blue sun, to the Sirius star, to the energy that it embodies, to the way that it wants to flow in for you specifically at this time, so that you can be open and aware and guided to receiving any light codes that are available to you now in the way of words or symbols or colors or feelings, and just allowing this space for you to be receptive to this portal energy right now to help with this accelerated time of growth. So allowing yourself to get comfortable, being in a comfortable position, whether you sit up or lay down, allowing your space to be quiet and undisturbed, and taking a moment to close your eyes and go within, allowing yourself to feel into your energy body. And begin to feel into that space just in front of the spine, that central column of light within you that houses your energy body, that houses your soul self. And allow yourself to focus on your breath and feel into that space. And as you feel into that space, feel the length of that central column of light running the entire length of the spine, from the tailbone all the way up to the crown. Becoming aware of this central column of light within. Aware to this energy that is flowing within you in this central column of light. And now begin to send that energy down past the tailbone, down into the earth beneath you. Like roots of a tree sinking down into the earth, connecting into this glowing orb of energy beneath you. This glowing burgundy red orb of energy that is your earth star chakra. And connecting this energy that provides a source of grounding, a source of stability, a source of comfort and nurturing energy. Connecting the central column of light down into that earth star chakra, feeling the roots kind of wrapping around this glowing orb of energy within the earth. And begin to see that glowing burgundy red energy coming up through the roots, traveling up into the root chakra, into that central column of light, sending with it nurturing, nourishing energy from Mother Earth. Recognizing that anything that you're ready to release is able to flow down into the center, to be transmuted, to be filtered, to be used to help nurture Mother Earth. And then you feel that energy of deep motherly love and comfort from Mother Earth rising back up, nurturing and nourishing each one of your energy centers. Feeling that burgundy red energy of the Earth Star rising up into the root, into the sacral chakra, that bowl of the pelvis, into the solar plexus, all the way up into the chest, into the heart chakra, all the way up into the throat, all the way up further into the head, into that third eye space, all the way up into the crown, feeling it extending from head to toe throughout the entire body, filling your body up with this deeply comforting, nurturing, nourishing energy of Mother Earth, feeling deeply supported, allowing that energy of surrender to wash over you, knowing that you are held, that everything you need is always provided for. And allowing yourself to breathe into that space, allowing yourself the spaciousness to release anything that you're already ready to let go of. Recognizing that you don't need to hold on to any heaviness. You don't need to hold on to anything that isn't serving you. You don't need to hold on to any energy that isn't even yours to begin with. Releasing it and letting it go. Allowing yourself to be held, allowing yourself to come into your own resonance, your own frequency, your own vibration, allowing yourself to be nurtured and nourished in your own frequency for your highest good right now in this moment. Allowing yourself to start feeling that energetic shift, feeling more weightless, feeling more infinite, feeling more expansive. Breathing this energy into that central column of light within you, and begin to expand that central column of light now up through the crown of the head, up into that soul star chakra, that glowing white orb of energy, that luminous white light energy that is so uplifting, it's so pure. It feels so light and so good when you connect into that energy and begin to feel that luminous white light energy pouring down into the crown, feeling it just pouring down into the crown and filling up the head, the third eye, the throat, down into the heart, filling up the body from head to toe with this luminous white light energy that helps to purify and harmonize your vibrational frequency. It amplifies your energy to the highest energy template that's available to you at this time. So as this luminous white light energy fills up the space of your crown, of your third eye, of your throat chakra, it's also aligning these energy centers to the highest vibrational frequency available to them right now. As it continues to flow down into the heart space and into the solar plexus and into that sacral chakra, it's still helping to amplify this energetic vibration to the highest timeline. And as it flows down into the root, it's elevating and lifting the vibrational frequency of your root chakra. And we're going to send this energy all the way down into the roots, down into that earth star chakra, anchoring this soul star energy, this soul blueprint of you, your most divine highest self, down into that earth star chakra, connecting your soul blueprint here to your earthly path, feeling that flow of that luminous white light energy traveling all the way down that central column of light and connecting into that earth star energy. And feeling in to that connection now of both of these energies flowing through your central column of light, offering stability and comfort and nurturing energy, and offering amplification and purification of your energetic frequency, coming into this harmonious alignment of your highest vibrational self right here in this moment, experiencing the pure energy that is you. And here, as we flow in this frequency, in this vibration, we are ready to start the journey to access the Akashic realm. And in this space, we will sound the 5 sacred ohms and the 5 steps to tune into this energetic frequency. So at this time, you are welcome to repeat after me and include that Om sound. So the sound of Om is a vibrationary sound that when we actually make the sound of Om, we are vibrating with the frequency of creation. So we'll repeat these 5 sentences with a sacred Om, and you will access the Akashic realm for yourself by repeating your name at the last sentence. And so we'll begin. With this Om, I relax my body. With this Om, I relax my mind. With this Om, I release my ego. With this Om, I call in the light. With this Om, I open the Akashic records for, and here's where you state your own name, Jena Skai. Now the Akashic records, the Akashic realm is now open. In this space, you might feel a heightened energy, an elevation in your frequency. A lot of times it opens and it brightens up that third eye space where you might start seeing flashes of colors, feeling into a lighter vibrational frequency. You might feel lighter in your physical body, more open in the mind's eye, more aware, more sensitive. And as we tune into this space of the Akashic realm, allow yourself to just be in that space of your mind's eye, of opening up to this space within the Akashic realm. And you may see yourself beginning to walk on a path, allowing yourself to notice what this pathway looks like, and allowing yourself to tune in to the energy that is surrounding you here on this path. As we state our intention of connecting into the energy of the Sirian star system, of that great blue sun of the cosmos, and this frequency of the Lion's Gate portal. And in the distance, you begin to see this glowing blue orb of energy. And you become increasingly aware of the energetic frequency that it holds. And now, as you were once walking on this path, you might find yourself floating on a cloud as it's lifting you to this frequency of the blue ray Sirian energy. As you hold this space, allowing yourself to just experience what this energy feels like, you begin to see this blue energy swirling around you. As it begins to swirl around you, pouring down through the crown, swirling around your physical body, enveloping you in this blue ray energy. This energy that embodies this frequency of deep peace and acceptance. This energy that allows you to more fully step into your own integrated self. The highest version of you being more fully integrated into who you are right now on your path. And in this space, holding this frequency, seeing this blue sun as a reflective mirror being held for you at this time, allowing you to see what it is you need to be made aware of to help you with your accelerated growth at this time. What is it that your soul needs to recognize now the most for its own highest growth? What is the next evolutionary steps on your soul's path that are being asked of you at this time? What energy is being asked to be created through you at this time? What energy is ready to be awakened and activated in you at this time? What do you need for your own self-acceptance? What is a key word or phrase that you can use to help you tune in to what you need for your soul's growth or evolution? What other messages are there in this space for you from this Sirian star system? allowing yourself to just be in this space of this Sirian frequency, allowing yourself to feel into this energy and allowing yourself to become more familiar with what it feels like for you. As you allow yourself to feel into this blue ray frequency of the Sirian star system, allow yourself the space to just recognize what this energy represents for you. Any symbols, any key words, any colors. And taking a moment of gratitude for the energy of this space, for the energy that has been shared in this space with you. And begin to feel into that energy of the cloud that you were floating on, and seeing yourself now coming back down to that path the same way you came, connecting back to that path within your mind's eye, and recognizing now as you come back into the recognition of your mind's eye, are you given a symbol here at your third eye space? To help with that tuning into the third eye of seeing here in that space of energy, and just noticing. And coming back into that recognition of your central column of light, that space that's flowing throughout your entire being, that channel of light within you. As you drop back down into your physical body, feeling yourself coming back into the physical body, feeling that extension of the central column of light as we call that energy back into ourselves, calling the energy of the soul star coming back down into the heart space, and calling that energy of the earth star to rise up into our heart space as we hold the energetic frequencies and connections to our soul self and to our earthly path and connection here at our heart center. We allow ourselves to be centered in the energy of our heart. We allow ourselves to become more centered here in our heart, more aware as we come back into our physical being. As you allow yourself to open your eyes, as we release this energy, we will come back to close the records with our final sacred Om. With this Om, I close the Akashic records. Om. And the records are now closed. So as we come back to this space, it's really good to journal or write down anything that you experience, because it's really easy to lose that when you come back out. So oftentimes I'm writing while I'm in the experience, as that's just how I like to connect, and I find it easy to be able to be present here in the physical space with my eyes open, writing, and also being in the mind's eye and seeing the things that are coming through and experiencing the things that are coming through. So I've got a couple of symbols from this journey, so I hope that some things came through for you. I'm going to stop this screen share. Okay. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, you can pop it in the chat box or allow yourself to unmute and ask a question. I want to hold space for that as well. So I will share quickly what came through for me. I actually started tearing up because when I asked for any other messages or symbols or things connected with that Sirian space, what came through for me is that connection of the rainbow bridge. So earlier on I talked about how the Sirian energy, they connect to animals. They are animal lovers. And the rainbow bridge is connected to this Sirian energy. And I don't know why I never put that together before. So it came through this time with my dog. So that's probably why. I also received 3 different symbols to use with connection to this energy, so I can't wait to explore them more. So I do want to share, if you receive symbols or different colors or different frequencies, take time to come back into this space of holding this energy for yourself so that you can explore what that means for you and the energy surrounding that. And it helps to uncover more and more for you. So this is a space for you to be more empowered and recognizing your own connection and your ability to read and interpret and experience the energy. So a lot of times people ask, well, what does this symbol mean? And it's really not about what someone else gets from the symbol that you received. It's about you being able to interpret and feel into the energy of that symbol. So it's an opportunity for you to be more empowered and more confident in your gift of being able to decipher the energy as you do, right? Because we're all unique in that experience as well. And that is colored through our perceptions and the ways that we connect. So I think that it's super important that you rely on yourself and how you feel and how you uncover what that means for you. And I always want to come back to that place of self-empowerment. It's super important that you feel that connection within yourself so that you can rely on your intuitive abilities and your ability to sense and feel and read and interpret the energy around you. Because whether you recognize it or not, you've already been doing that for your entire life. This is a process that happens without even being recognized, without even being known. Our energy body reaches out and senses our environment. It senses people that come into our field of energy. This is how we naturally interpret when we meet someone for the first time and we get that sensation of danger, danger, right? How many times has that happened in your life where you have this feeling about someone and you don't even know them, right? It's that energy interpretation that happens because your auric field naturally reaches out and it feels and senses the auric field in people around you, and it brings that energy back into your field to be interpreted. So our energy selves are constantly working. They've been here since birth. They're always working whether we've recognized it or not. So you are absolutely able to interpret energy. It just becomes a more mindful practice of being aware of when your energy reaches out and experiences another energy and becoming more aware of what that feels like, what the sensations are, and interpreting it more directly because now you are consciously aware of this interpretation happening. So it's quite interesting and amazing. So I hope that that helps some of you that might be new to this to understand like you are absolutely able to interpret the energy. Sometimes it just takes a practice of sitting with it a little longer and allowing yourself to feel into and allowing yourself to be surrounded by that energy again. This is where it's helpful to ask for keywords to help associate with that energy so that you can start the unwinding of what it means for you. So it comes back into that word play. So I hope this brings some guidance for you in what you need to do for you at this time for your own soul's growth. This helps with taking aligned action because once we feel into that space, it begins to open up and it sets the little stepping stones for us. So it's about things becoming more easeful. You come out of that space and you will feel more naturally aligned to a higher vibrational frequency. And so things will naturally start flowing in a more easeful way. And it helps with our manifestation process naturally. So it's not anything specific that you need to really ask for at this time, other than to be in that state of alignment. Know the inner work that you have to do, maybe the things that you need to release, or the things that are wanting to come through for you right now. And as you do that work, that process naturally, it helps with that evolutionary path. Thank you guys for joining me today. And if you are on the replay, if you didn't catch this live and you still have questions, feel free to reach out to me and I will answer you as soon as I am able to. Thank you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful 8/8 and take the time to really soak in this energetic experience, this time of rebirth, right? That's really the energy of this. It feels like a really good rebirth energy into a higher state of being. And I know I've spoken to a lot of people, and I talked about this recently on my page. A lot of us are feeling kind of a lot of heaviness with this transitionary period. And, sometimes it's connecting into the energy to help lift you up, to help with being able to handle that energy too, because it can be hard being stuck in that place of feeling like you're stagnant and feeling like you're stuck. So that's one of the benefits of connecting into that energy flow too, is it helps you to not feel stuck. It helps to start shift your energetic frequency. And that can be a super helpful tool to use when you're dealing with a lot of things. And if you are one of those that are experiencing the heaviness of this transitional period, it's really good to focus on the grounding energy that we did in the start of our journey when we connect and grow the roots down into that Earth Star chakra. So go back and practice that and allow yourself to really sink into that, because that's the energy that really helps to transmute and helps to relieve that heaviness that you might be feeling. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed leading this today. I hope to do more kind of little workshops like this in the future. So thank you so much for participating. I appreciate every one of you. And like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out for me. Have a wonderful, wonderful 8/8 day. Bye.